Welcome to the Neuropathy Support Group and Podcast. I'm Chris, and I'm so glad you tuned in. It's my hope with this podcast to help all of us gather information that might help those that need support dealing with this debilitating issue. Before we get started, let's get the formalities out of the way with the medical and privacy disclaimer. I am not a doctor or medical professional. The information on this podcast is from personal experiences and is meant for group support. Additionally, the information discussed is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any underlying conditions associated with neuropathy. All names here within are private and will not be shared with any outside sources. Please consult your healthcare provider before making any health decisions. If you have medical concerns or an immediate emergency, please contact your doctor or dial 911.
Well, we're back. How's everyone doing? Again, I know I'm late on this episode, but this week has been the hell week for me. I just have not gotten the rest and the strength that I need to make it through the days. It's been real bad. I've been in a lot of pain, and I've been in a lot of weakness with my legs. It's been hard for me to walk. But here I am. It is Saturday, and again, I'm sorry for being late on this. So we're going to go back to antidepressants and mood disorders and bipolar and those kind of things again. This episode is going to be why antidepressants can cause emotional blunting and how to cope if you're taking them. Antidepressants can often lift depressive symptoms and make life better for people with major depression disorder. However, for millions of Americans who take antidepressants, these medications may do more than alleviate sadness. They may also dull feelings of happiness and joy. This flattening of feelings, called emotional blunting or reduced effect, is a potential side effect of antidepressants. Roughly half of the people taking antidepressants report some degree of blunt emotions. I'm just finding out what this was. I don't think I ever had those type of issues. I've taken a lot of different antidepressants for bipolar and depression and anger, and those products have been, I've done so many of them. I finally got it to where I take about 6 different ones. It's still hard, but I make it work. For people with MDD, dulling one's emotions can be a mixed blessing. These antidepressants may work in part by removing some emotional pain depressed people feel, while unfortunately erasing some of the enjoyment. So, these drugs, including Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, and Celexa and Lexapro. So 2 of those one I take now, the other one I took before. Paxil's one I take now. I take 2 different milligrams, and Lexapro was one that I took, I think, right at the very beginning when all this started to come up. Prior research describes the effects as one usually feeling being dulled, numb, flattened, blocked, or blank. One of the risks of blunting is that people may stop taking the medications that are helping them when asking their doctor to make adjustments to their treatment may do the trick. These people may begin to fear they cannot experience joy and pleasures. What is emotional blunting and why does it happen? People who experience emotional blunting often report feeling dulled emotions and that they no longer find the things as pleasurable as they used to. It is if someone turned down the volume of good feelings. Though evidence suggests emotional blunting has to do with serotonin levels in the brain, researchers still have questions about exactly why and how it happens. Antidepressants that affect serotonin levels in the body to be most associated with emotional blunting are Lexapro, Paxil, Prozac, Zoloft, and Celexa. Also, here's some serotonin inhibitors: Cymbalta, another one I've taken before, Effexor, and Fezima. The research team theorized that SSRs interfere with reinforcement learning. Think of this as the process of building knowledge by trial and error, or a feedback loop that sends either a positive or negative message to the brain. Many cognitive thinking functions were not affected by chronic SSRIs, but the impact on reinforcement learning underscores the role serotonin plays in the perception of rewarding and punishing feedback. There was a study used that SSRIs like Lexapro to gauge responses among people without depression to determine how much the drug itself affects cognition without the influence of depression. Products like dopamine and Wellbutrin, which I've taken before, also affect serotonin to an extent, but were not included in this study. You rarely find this blunting with Wellbutrin, a doctor says. During that target, other brain chemicals are also believed to be less likely to flatten feelings, this one doctor says. So what are the signs of emotional blunting? Emotional blunting can show up differently from person to person, but some tendencies occur more frequently. Here's 4 of them. Feeling unable to laugh or cry, having difficulty expressing affection such as love, fear, or anger, struggling to share joy and sadness, and feeling emotional detached from loved ones. I think that's with all of us that have, emotional issues and problems, that those are the 4 basic things that we struggle with. And here is another one. Sexual dysfunction is another key symptom of emotional blunting. And for some people, emotional blunting first appears in the bedroom. It's unquestionable that diminished sexual arousal and excitement are among the biggest problems among people on SSRIs. That was the issue that I was having with the Lexapro that I was taking. So what does emotional blunting affect? In the aforementioned study, published in the Journal of Affective Disorders, approximately half of participants taking antidepressants said they experienced emotional blunting. In another study, almost 3/4 of study participants with acute depression reported emotional blunting, and 1/4 of those in remission experienced severe blunting. And I don't know if there's a remission for any of these issues. You just can't turn it off and stop. It just doesn't work that way. Approximately 56% blame depression for the flattened feelings, while 45% believe their antidepressants were responsible. People whose livelihoods depend on experiencing strong emotions may be more affected in those feelings that are dulled by antidepressants. Additionally, people with the highest need for positive experiences, sometimes known as thrill seekers, seem more sensitive to blunting. This doctor also adds that people may be driven to seek new, sometimes ill-advised ways to reignite their dormant emotions, such as driving well above the speed limit, engaging in dangerous sports, or taking harmful or addictive substances. Alright, 5 tips for managing emotional blunting if you're taking antidepressants. The persistence and magnitude of blunting. varies from person to person. With some people, it seems to wane and improve over time, but others have it as an enduring side effect. It's also difficult to know how much antidepressants contribute to emotional blunting compared with depression itself. As depression lifts, we can see emotional responses broaden, and that makes it difficult to figure out what's happening. So, number one, don't abruptly stop taking your antidepressants. Of course, that would be a big one. If you're having bothersome side effects like emotional blunting, don't just stop taking your medication cold turkey. If you've been taking your antidepressant for at least 4 to 6 weeks and you suddenly stop, you could experience withdrawals, also known as antidepressants discontinuation syndrome. Antidepressant withdrawal can cause problems and symptoms such as anxiety, dizziness or nausea, flu-like symptoms, headaches, reemergence of depressive symptoms, sensations resembling an electric shock, and vivid dreams, insomnia, or tiredness. Another reason not to suddenly stop taking your antidepressants is because many side effects that happen when you first start taking it are only temporary and wear off pretty quickly. If you ultimately decide you'd like to stop taking antidepressants, tell your doctor. They can help you gradually taper off of it over several weeks, or they might recommend trying a lower dose of the same antidepressant or a different antidepressant medication. Number two, ask your doctor about lowering the dose of your antidepressants. If you're struggling with side effects like emotional blunting for several weeks or longer, let your doctor know. They may opt to reduce the dose of your antidepressant, which could help lessen side effects. Number three, consider switching your antidepressant. If you feel like the side effects of your antidepressant are too much for you, it can help to ask your doctor to switch you to another one. Sometimes it takes some trial and error to find the right antidepressant for you. The good news is that with 40 or 50 antidepressants available, we have many alternatives. But the bad news is that few head-to-head studies compare how the other drugs reduce blunting. Number 4. Give mindfulness a try. I suggest finding activities that help the individual pause and absorb happiness, an approach called mindfulness, to broaden the emotional range. This doctor recommends activities like taking a nature walk, visiting an art gallery, listening to music, reading a compelling book, or engaging in a favorite hobby to gradually reintroduce the concept of joy in your life. Mindfulness is a practice of focusing on your present thoughts and feelings rather than past or future ones. It has several research-backed benefits for depression, including helping you learn not to judge your thoughts and feelings and to better manage self-critical ones. Number 5. Make time for exercise most days of the week. This doctor endorses the healing power of physical activity above all else. The evidence is clear and overwhelming that the best, most robust antidepressant is exercise. Exercising for at least 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 days a week, can help make symptoms of depression and anxiety much better, according to the Mayo Clinic. Along with reducing depressive symptoms, exercise may also help relieve the side effects of antidepressants. And the bottom line, the ultimate lesson psychiatrists say is that all medications come with some trade-offs. When we modulate things that makes us feel better or worse, there can be an unintended consequence that we don't see at first. Despite that, most clinicians agree the benefits of antidepressants usually outweigh the risks. For many people with depression, SSRIs significantly improve their condition, giving them a better quality of life and improving their ability to function. And the more we learn about how they work, the better our treatment options will be. I thought that was a pretty good lesson there, something to talk about, and to get your feedback on what you think. I know a lot of those things that we talked about today here in this lesson, I learned a lot. A lot of those things happen to me, and I don't know. That's about all you can do when you take medications that are to help you with your life, to make it better, make you happier. Next week we'll be talking about depression again, but this one is going to be 7 great exercises to ease depression. So now I'm going to give you guys some relief by reading this article. But thank you very much for being here. I hope that you guys have a great week coming up and enjoy your time. Go outdoors and enjoy nature, or spend time with grandkids or family. But until next Monday, or sometime during the week, depending on how I feel, I will talk to you later. Bye.
As we come to a close, it's my hope this podcast and other sources, such as product reviews that I have discussed today, can better our lives and give us some relief dealing with neuropathy. This episode, plus others, are posted every Monday on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. And finally, whatever life throws at you, even if it hurts you, just be strong and fight through it. Remember, strong walls shake, but never collapse. Talk to you next Monday.